Hi everyone, welcome to the stream. So the purpose of today's stream is to learn Android development and and to basically create an app um, that we can eventually put in the Play Store. Um, before we begin, before we begin Android development, we need to install Android Studio, and I'm not going to tell the how to do it. Like, it's very simple, and I think you can find some online videos regarding how to do it. So I have already installed Android Studio, and I have created a project using new and create new project. And this is this is like one of the basic project that Android Studio creates by default. um, and when you compile the project, this is the app that gets built. So this is the app that is being built from this, and as you can see, it's a very basic application. um, So what I want to do, the application that I wanted to create is also very simple. So I wanted to create a whack-a-mole kind of application. So if you don't know about whack-a-mole, whack-a-mole is basically a game where there's a mole that appears on the screen, and it moves in the screen like every few seconds. It appears and then it disappears and moves to another location in the screen. And the goal is to basically tap it. um, so so that's what I am trying to create. Like, there will be a mole that will appear in the screen, and you have to basically tap it, and if you tap it, there will be a score which gets increased. um, So that's the idea of the app. Now let's get started. So I created a default app, but I think the name of the app is not what I want. Like, yeah, the name of the application that I gave is my application. So I actually want to give it like the proper name. So let's create another project and basic activity. And this time I will give the name of my application to be whack a mole. Yeah, and the package is whack-a-mole. Location is, let me see if the location is correct. Android apps, whack-a-mole. Yeah, sounds about right. Whack-a-mole. Okay, Java. I want to create it in Java. And yeah, finish. So it is going to create a default template. As you can see, this is the default template it created. Let me close my previous application. Do you want to terminate the process app? Yeah, terminate it. So this is the, yeah, so this is the basic activity, basic project that Android creates. And if we run the project, so we are running on an emulator. You can create the emulator, and you can like search how to create an emulator. It's pretty simple. So I have created an emulator with Pixel 4, and when I compile it, it gives me this, which we just saw. The only difference is now I changed the name of our application. So as you can see, this has a lot of things that we do not need. Um, so this created the, like you can see, like it created three um, three classes. One is the main activity, the other is first fragment, second fragment. Um, so we want to keep our application very simple. So we don't want first and second fragment. So I'm just going to delete it. Um, let's delete first fragment. Okay, it's saying that there are some places where first fragment is used, but we are going to delete anyway, and we will clean up the stuff later. The same goes for second fragment. We will delete it. uh, Save delete, I don't want save delete, just delete it. So now in the main activity, what do we need? So this part, yeah, this part is I think it's for so when we reopen our app, it uses the saved instance to, I guess, load some of the stuff. So this line needs to stay. um, yeah, activity inflate get layout inflator, set content view binding. Oh, okay. So this is for the toolbar. So as you can see, there is a toolbar here. So this is the code that uh, I think is for the toolbar. Yeah, so I think we can delete this also. We don't need this. Um, so actually, what do we need? Like for our application, we just need two things. Um, we need a score, and we need a mole, right? So mole can be a button. So we just want to keep this button and delete everything else. Like we don't want anything else. Um, and we want a score, like which we will add later. So yeah, so I'm deleting everything. I just deleted this toolbar. Yeah, so this is the nav controller. Nav controller, blah blah blah. So navigation controller, I believe, is this part. So as you can see in this activity, there are two buttons. This button, which goes like this, and this button, which if we click, it gives us a toast. So I can either keep this or this. So in our case, I'm going to keep this. So I'm going to so this button, as you can see, is this button. Like you can see, replace with your own action. When I click, it says replace with our own action. So this is the button we want to keep. The rest I'm going to delete. Uh, um, on create options menu. Okay, I think this is on create options menu is for this menu. So action bar if it is present. So what does this menu contain? Let's see. Yeah, so this is the, sorry, I minimized the application. Yeah, so you can see this is the settings. It says it um, contains a item called settings. And in our thing we saw, okay, it gives us settings. So this is the part for uh, that settings. So we don't want that also, so we're going to delete that. um, on options items collector selected. um, yeah, I think this is for the, when you click the, I click the settings, what will happen. So since we deleted the settings, we can delete this also safely. um, yeah, this is also something we do not need, so I'm going to delete that. So basically this is what we have in our main activity. The rest of the stuff I deleted. So now comes the, so now I have to delete all the stuff from the uh, resources folder. So I'm going to check everywhere like what all resources are left. So activity main.xml is what um, we need for the main, for the first page. And we can see this contains, so we just deleted the app bar layout, so we can delete this. um, yeah, we can delete this. Yeah, we deleted this. Include layout content main, so it is including something. The activity main is including another layout. I want to see what that layout does. So yeah, um, this is the layout for the first fragment, right? Yeah, this is for the fragment. So I don't want that, so I will delete this from our layout. Floating action button, fab. Yeah, dialog email. So this is this button. So this XML is for this button, and we want to keep this button. So the rest I deleted. So content XML, yeah, content XML I don't want, so I will delete it. Fragment first, I don't want, so I will delete it. Fragment second, I don't want, I will just delete it. Okay. Main menu, we don't want this, so I want to delete it. Okay, nav graph, we don't want the nav graph. So the nav graph is basically for the fragment. So there were two fragments which were going from one to the other, but we deleted the fragments, so we will delete the nav graph also. Colors, dimensions, strings. So we don't need this flag because we deleted those things. We don't need this. We don't need the settings because we deleted the settings, right? Yeah, we don't need this because I deleted the fragments. Okay. themes. Themes, we want the themes. Yeah, good. So let's see. I think I deleted most of the stuff. Like I deleted the activities and the stuff from the resource folder. So let's try to run our app. Might give some error because I'm not sure if I deleted everything correctly. But just let's just see. Okay, it says launch succeeded, but I don't see anything launched. That's weird. Let's see the um, yeah, it said build successful, so it should be running, but I don't see anything running. Let's try again. Oh, okay. So it ran, but then it crashed. Let's see why it crashed. Yeah. So it crashed because blah 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 blah. Attempt to read from field on a null object. Oh, okay. So we actually need the binding because we are using the binding here. Binding.fab dot set unclick listener. Yeah, let's not delete the binding, but I do want to delete everything else. I deleted the toolbar. So why do we need binding? So it is activity main binding, get layout inflated, set support action bar. Yeah, I don't think I need this. Okay, let's try this. Okay, so now it's working. So this is the app that got created. And if we click this, it says replace with your own action. Cool. So the error was because we deleted the code for binding, and as you can see, we are doing binding dot fab. So since binding was null, so we were doing null dot fab, which was giving us an error. Um, okay. So now what we want is we have a button, and it gives us a toast when we click it. Um, so instead of the toast, we want it to increase a score. So first we need to add a score, and we want to set the score to be increased when we click this button, right? So first step will be adding the score. So we know the main activities layout is here. So I just want to add a score to it. So let's go here. You can see this is our screen. So I want to add a text. Um, so before we do that, I think I need to change the layout type. So here we can see this is some coordinator layout stuff. But what I want is called a constraint layout, I think. I will tell you why we need the constraint layout a bit later. But first let me see constraint layout. So okay, constraint layout allows you to create large and complex layout with flat view hierarchy. It's similar to relative layout, and all the views are laid out according to relationship between sibling views, parent views, but it's more flexible and is easier to use with Android Studio's layout editor. So okay, so I just want to get the code for constraint layout. Blah blah blah. Give me the example. Yeah, I think this one. It's not giving me the full constraint layout. Okay, I think not the perfect, not the right thing to search. Okay, constraint layout. Give me the code, please. Okay, so this was the thing I was looking for. Android Egg, constraint layout, blah blah blah, this thing. Okay, let's try to see if we can, like, we can get this on our own. Yeah, Android X dot constraint. Yeah, it's giving me a lot of, I think this one maybe. Yeah, what was the widget? Yeah, constant layout, widget, constant layout. Yeah, this one was the one I was looking for. And XMLNS, this thing, schema, Android. Yeah, cool. I'm not really still not sure like if this what this does and um, how it's useful, but we we do need it. So I need to change this also. Yeah, select this. Cool. So this starts complaining about something. Let's see why it's complaining. This view is not constrained. Okay. Huh. Yeah. So why do we need constraint layout? Constraint layout is very useful because we can basically drag and drop widgets or like any views on this layout, and we can position them freely. Um, with linear layout or relative layout, it's a bit difficult um, to position them freely. So I am going for constraint layout. And in constraint layout, you need to give constraints like the way I'm giving. Constraints is basically is you have to say like is it constrained to the bottom, is it constrained to the top, and I think it also sets the parameter like how is it constrained, like because if I move this, the the height changes, right? So I think in the code also it gets reflected. Yeah, you can see it gives some bias like 0.687. So this is the vertical because you can see the vertical is very below. It's like it's not in the middle. Um, so it's 0.687. For the horizontal, it's almost at the middle. So it's saying 0.498. Um, okay. So I got the constraint for this. So now I want to add a text view. So let's add a, not text, I want a text view. Okay, yeah, text view. Okay, and then um, I want to give it the name should be score. Yeah, ID is score and the text should be also score. Yeah. So this is also complaining that I need to constrain it. That's fine. So I want two things. So I want it to say score, and I also want a actual score. So I need two things. So I need another text view. Yeah. Okay. And I want to bunch them together. Uh, so these two text view needs to be bunched together. So I can actually do it in a linear layout. Not this one. Control Z. Com dot. No, not com. I want 100x. 100x dot linear. Linear layout. Okay, why is it not giving me anything? Oh, this one. Okay. Linear layout width should be um for now let's do wrap content. Height is wrap content. So wrap content basically means that it is the it is the size of whatever content that is inside this layout. Okay, so I put these two views inside the linear layout, and I think I need to set the um, is it vertical or horizontal. For the linear layout we need to set some layout. Let's see. So linear layout can be two types. So linear layouts is a type of layout which is for handling views which are either vertical or horizontal. So for our thing, uh, we have this core and text view, right? We have these two things, and we want to keep them side by side, which is like I guess horizontal way of keeping them. So that's why I'm putting both of these together inside a linear layout. So I just need to specify that the linear layout is vertical. Um, Let me search that. Yeah, orientation. Yeah, orientation is horizontal for our case. Cool. And this is complaining because it is not constrained anywhere, right? Um, see, why is it complaining? Come on, dude. Yeah, view is not constrained. So inside a constraint layout, we need to constrain everything. So in our case, we need to constrain the uh, yeah, it changed. Okay. Okay. So I'm just going to copy this stuff for now, so that we have some constraint to play with. Okay. Just copied this, and I'm gonna paste this here. Okay. Let's see. Yep. So okay. Yeah. So I want to catch hold of the linear layout. Linear layout. Yeah. Um. How do I catch hold of the linear layout? First, let me. Okay. This is the linear layout, right? I want to drag it. Come on, dude. Let me hold you. Um. Okay. Yeah, this is easier to handle. Ah. Okay. Okay. And now I can just change it. And gravity. Yeah, I change the height. I don't want to change the height. I want it to be wrap content. Wrap content. Okay. Okay. Now it's looking good, like the way I wanted it to look. Um. So now let's just go and build that app and see if it actually looks like that. Yep. Okay, launch succeeded. Yeah. So we got the score and we got a text view. Um, so now comes the, I guess, the interesting part. So what I want to do is, so when I click this button, it does this thing. Now I want to change the action for this button, and when I click it, this text view gets updated with the score, right? Um, so for that, first I want to change the text in the text view. Let's go to the code, and here you can see in the second text view, um, the text is text view. So initially we want our score to be 0. So I will put 0 here, and there's this ID which is currently text view 2. So we want to give it a name appropriate. Uh, so so let's give it the name score value, and here when we click on the button, I want to increase the value of the second thing. Um, so one thing we should try to follow is, instead of like text being populated directly from here, we should populate it from these strings. So in string you can see we have a name of the app stored. Let's give another string called name, and give it the name called score, and just give the name. So initially we want score, and here we want to change this to the resource that was inside strings. So string, and then I want to score. So this is a good practice to have, because if you store in the strings, then you have like a unified location where all the strings are stored, and so now it doesn't really make sense because there is only one activity, one XML, and we are just we could have easily put it inside the in this XML, but in future there can be lots of XMLs, and it's a then it would be easier to like keep them here, and if you want to just change something in future, you can come to this file and change the score to whatever, and it will get reflected there. So yeah, it's just a good practice to keep all your strings in the strings.xml file. Okay, so I did the score. Now let's do this also. So this is 0 score value. So just do something similar here. String name. Let's give it a name score initial score value. Yeah, let's give it score value. Right. So actually the convention here is you write it like this. So let's follow the convention, and the initial score value is 0. So I do the same here. Instead of directly populating, I will say at string and score value. Okay, cool. Now let's see if it runs. Okay, yeah. So score and 0. So that's good. So the next step is to update the score value. So we already know that the on-click listener is already set, and it populates the toast. So we just want to modify this to update the score. Let's name it this. Okay. 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 So I think this will give me a view. So this return find view by ID will return a view. So I want the view. I think what do you say? I can cast it to the text view, which is, yeah. So this returns a view, but we already know that this core value is a text view. Um, so we can safely cast it to text view. So it's completing extra side effect. Yeah, I think we need to give it a variable. Let's call it text view and then give it the name of score value. Yeah. Um, so we want to extract whatever score value is there and increment it. So let's first extract the score value. So we know that score value is a text view. Um, what all functions does it have? Clear, get autofill type. No, we don't want these. We want something which gives us the content in the text view. Okay, we have get text, which is exactly what we want. So we got the text. So now get text will be, what is the return type of get text? Yeah, it gives us the type character sequence. So we want the character sequence to be, it should be in the string format. So let's make it toString. So now this is a string. So we know, so this is, we are getting the string, but we want to convert it into integer because then we can do addition or subtraction, which we want. So think there is a function to do that. Let me just quickly search it. I can never remember this stuff. string to integer. So, yeah, I think it's parse integer. Let's try that. Parse. What is the spelling? Oh, okay, so you need to use it like this: integer dot parse integer parse int. Cool. Integer dot parse integer, and as you can see, it takes an input of string. Cool. And we do this, copy the string, put it inside the function, um, and give it a name called integer score. Score and score value integer. Cool. So now we got the value. So initially this will be 0, and we want to increase it when we click on it, right? So let's do that. Plus plus. This will increment it. So after incrementing, we need to set the text view back to what we got here, right? So we have score value. Sorry, score value dot set text. Do we have set text? Yes, we have set text. So what does set text take? What do we need to give? So we can give character sequence. We can also give integer, but I'm not sure if integer will work. Let's try. So let's just put score value, and let's see if it works. Okay. No, it doesn't. It didn't work. Let's see why it didn't work. What was the error? Yeah, it's saying fatal exception main resource not found. String resource ID get text at text. So I think we need to give text. We want to give a text here. Text or at least character sequence. So this is integer, and we want to do it and convert it back to string, right? Let's see if we get something here to string. Yeah, we can convert it to string like this. Does it text and does it take string? Yeah, it takes character sequence, but I think we can give strings also. Let's try now. Yes. So I think we kind of made a lot of progress. So You can see when we are clicking this thing, this code is getting updated. Um, this is like one of the key steps to create our whack-a-mole game. Um, I think I will stop here and I will proceed again later. Um, so in the subsequent videos, we will be we'll be adding some complexity. One of the things that I want to add is for this button to appear randomly on the screen. Uh, so this will be our mole and it will appear randomly on the screen, and it will appear for some amount of time and then disappear, just like a mole, um, just like the whack-a-mole game, right? Um, yeah. So some of the complexities that gets added is we want to have a randomized function which will move this randomly on the screen, right? And then we need to add a timer for it to be on the screen for some amount of time and then disappear. Um, so that's another complexity that will get added. And there's also a lot of other works that I need to do, like to make it polished, like make the score a good font and like place it somewhere in the top maybe, um, and yeah, and maybe add, like change the button to actually look like a mole. Yeah, so there's lots of stuff we can do, which we will be doing in the subsequent videos. Cool. So I will end here. Thank you.